guys, this is Orsi and this is going to be my first impression of one of my birthday deck for this year, which is the Lorenzi Tarot. It's really windy today here, but hopefully that's not gonna be too annoying. This is the box. It has a very cool and unique art on it, and of course I put it back the wrong way around. Unfortunately, there's not a real thumb hole cut out, so it's kind of hard to remove the box, which looks like this. You have the cards over there, and then obviously the guidebook, which is here. It looks nice and big. Unfortunately, not a lot of text. It's fully illustrated. You pretty much get the card in almost full size, or I would say bigger than on the card, because on the card you have the title, some description of the art, and then some upward and reverse meaning, a little about the creator in the beginning. Unfortunately, it's more about her career path, and which is cool, you know, just talk about whatever you want, it's your deck. But I would have loved to hear more about her journey with the tarot, because she said that this deck came alive or came about during the years that, you know, she was, I'm assuming, working with tarot. But we unfortunately don't hear anything about that, and I don't even remember. Yeah, there's no spreads, nothing, just the meaning for the cards. It's the same amount of text for the minors and the same amount of text for the majors, which is usually good. But in this case, you know, this is just my first impression of this deck, but I would have loved a much more detailed explanation of choices, because there are some interesting choices for cards and then they are not necessarily explained, which kind of sucks. That's one thing that I'm not that happy with. Even though I really love the art style, and I'm gonna you know, I have a pile of cards that I especially love. I have some basic issues with this deck which might in the future prevent me to work well with this deck or keep it, and I think it's something that if I've known, I don't think I would have picked up the deck. But what I do with my birthday deck is I usually just look for something that intrigues me, then I check a few images, you know, like image search, not an actual full walkthrough or flip through, because I want something to be a surprise. And you know, it can be a really good deck in the end, or it can be a little disappointing. I think my personal record with this one is more disappointment than happiness, but you know, it's a birthday, you know, I just love surprises. That's one of the things that I love about giving gifts and receiving them, is the surprise element. So I don't think that I want to change it. And plus, like I said, just because I have issues with this deck, because I do have issues with this deck currently, it doesn't mean that in the long run we might not become really good friends. So, you know, we'll see. So let's start with the issues, because I think that let's get the negative out of the way and finish with something nice, because I don't want to bash the deck. That's not my intention. I think the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. It's just that some things are lazy to me, and I don't understand why. And the reason being, if you can draw or illustrate or paint in such a cool way, why do you have to copy paste elements on cards? And that's one of the biggest issues. Or you know, like this lover's card is just not necessarily my style. It's too traditional in a way, but I kind of like this epic fail. That was written here. And I read in the guidebook that this heart is offered as a sacrifice, but you know, Eve is tempting Adam and stuff like that. Like, as me, I don't care. That's not what this card is all about. That's not the real choice for me, the Bible explanation. But you know, this is just a personal thing, that lovers cards like these or this is not necessarily my favorite. Other thing that is kind of weird for me is that, for example, here's the Three of Pentacles, and yes, the Pentacles are three, and we have this anatomical heart that is pretty much present in every single card in some shape or form. From what I gather, this, I'm assuming it's because it wants to symbolize that a decision or something like that should come from the heart. I read it on some card explanation that the heart was there on the Judgment card, that it's there to symbolize is that the not Judgment, the Hierophant, that maybe I should show you the card, that the Pope dove, no, I don't know, it's a dove, but I think it's a Pope dove. It's a bird that's coming out of an egg, and it has an anatomical heart. It's holding an anatomical heart, and it symbolizes that his teachings and his wisdom and his whatever is coming from the heart, or should come from the heart. So, you know, at least the heart has a symbol and a meaning, which I like. But I don't understand why the two giraffes who are not really doing anything, I don't see the collaboration or, you know, even a new meaning from this sort of illustration. Three of Cups, again, that heart, which is one is full with this heart, the cup, and then two empty ones. Or even though you might say that, you know, there are goldfishes above, so maybe they are not empty, but the two of them collaborate. So, okay, maybe this is not necessarily a bad. See, I mean, I can come up with a better meaning for this than just by the look at it. Now, all these doves with the people holding on to them, it kind of reminds me of bombing things, so I don't like that association. Maybe it's there for a reason, like, because, you know, doves are I think universal symbol of peace, but it kind of gives me that we're just flying over and bombing things, which is I don't necessarily like at all. But they are all carrying, like, the three of them are carrying three things. But yes, we have 4 swords, but why the 3 on the 4 card? So there's a lot like that. There's a lot of repetition, and there's a lot of not, for me, not enough things on a card. Because yes, there are four swords, but the main thing that draws your eyes in are the birds, and there are only 3 birds there. So when I look at a card, I don't think I will immediately think about the 4. My first assumption is going to be the 3. So, you know, stuff like that, which you can get over when you use the deck. It's just, you know, it's something that you need to know, I think, or it's better to know. The Sun card is an interesting one. It's David Bowie, again with the mirrored image. Does it look like happiness to you? I mean, I'm not a Bowie fan, so maybe I don't understand this specific illustration of him. Maybe theirs is, you know, like, I know that the painting and the face painting and the hairstyle was, I think it was for an album cover. But like I said, I'm not a fan, so I don't know. I don't associate with that with anything. Well, let's check the guidebook, because I don't think I had checked the guidebook for this one, just that it wasn't really happy for me. Okay, the sun shines on an imaginative and surreal world made of floating islands. Okay, which are exactly the same, so they were copy paste. Which I don't mind, you know, just you can copy paste. That's fun thing about working digitally, but why not flip a few things around or make some, you know, like difference, so it's not exactly the same. 2 flamingos fly in luminous skies. Flamingos were explained as, I think, the meaning of not luxury, but elegance in some other card. But the number 2 recurring in this card represents duality and the union of elements. Okay. I don't associate number 2 with the Sun card. Warmth, love, and then you get the usual meanings. But when I look at it, I don't get anything like that. You know, it's not happy for me. Maybe the whales can be like that, but I don't know. And no explanation for the Bowie figures. So, see, I when you have such a different art style or artwork, I would hope for, not expect, because I don't expect anything, not anymore, but I would hope for more detailed explanation. And I will look at her social media and website. Maybe there's tons of information there. You will hear about it in the future when I have a chance to work with this deck. Again, the moon, I really like this moon card, especially with the big balloon that says stay human, because people can do horrible things when they are acting out of fear. And I think it's just a good reminder that, you know, we shouldn't lose our cool and do something because we're terrified of it. But then we have the Ten of Cups with the same, it's the exact same turtle and the exact same balloon with the stay human element. And for the Ten of Cups, I don't get this one. Not as much as I get it for the Fear card, because the Ten of Cups is about happiness and whatever. And yeah, you can say that you need to stay the same or human or humble, even if you're reaching everything you ever desired. But I wouldn't associate that feeling with this one, especially after I connected this element in the moon card with fear. So this is something that I feel like either should have been explained better or just not done this way. Okay, so yeah, moon card. Oh, and lovers, okay. Let's put it this way. Yeah, some other repetition with the numbers. I know it feels like I'm criticizing the deck more than I'm praising it, but at the moment I have, you know, the problems more obvious than what I like. Because, I don't know, I guess that's how my mind and most humans' mind work. Or maybe just mine, that I pick on things that I don't like first, and then I go to things that I like. Two of Wands. Two of Wands. Two of Swords. Okay, I have to check if you guys can see all the cards. Yeah, you should be able to. These should represent the aspect of the two in a different way. Two of Pentacles, I don't see any balancing. The description says that they are working together so that they are balancing things. I don't see that, not at all. They are just standing next to each other. My cat is here. So you can hear meowing probably from now on. Two of Swords. It's more in the Two of Swords element with the cutting, as in making a decision. Maybe I can even go as far as chopping up things like big tasks into smaller portions so you can deal with them, but that's, I think it's reaching. Two of Wands with the snakes all around, and even though they have wands in their hands with that heart, because, you know, we have to have that heart, I don't see anything that gives me the Two of Wands feeling. And the Two of Cups is they are, you know, not facing each other, they are showing their backs, which can be that we have each other's backs, we have the two Full Cups, but they are not holding hands, they are the exact same mermaid. So this one feels more like the Two of Wands for me, because their body language shows that guarding position that most of us associate with the RWS deck. And even though it doesn't look like that, this is an RWS clone, because the descriptions are for the RWS deck. So, you know, even if I see something, it's not explained, and the meanings that are given are for the RWS, then I'm gonna just be I'm gonna be trying to find those meanings in the card. It's not necessarily as you know, like do like with the twos, but the Six of Swords is working with this bowl element, which is not a problem immediately, because you know, you could put it in a different environment and highlight something different, which is cool. But again, here we have the turtle that we know from the moon card and the other few cards already. Six of Wands, there's a bird on it, but this is the same protected, like, I don't even know, it looks like a tiny robot that protects the inside. Here we have the turtle, which is in the element of water, but we also have the Six of Cups with the fish with the element of water, obviously. The Six of Swords has a bird, yes, the fly, and the Pentacle has this moth or some sort of a night creature. I'm assuming I don't even know. It looks like something that I should know, but I'm not very versatile about, you know, flying things. But I don't get the Six of Swords. The swords are attacking, but it's protected, but it's not moving from one place to the other. Like, yes, these tiny robot things look like they are moving, they're pretty much in the same position, but no, I don't really see. Six of Wands, like I said, Six of Wands is victory. It's achieving something, and maybe I can say that the bird is pretty and it's really beautiful, and the bird type might mean that it's signaling victory, but I don't know. And the Six of Cups, that leaves the Six of Cups, the fish is looking backwards, you know, so I can say that it's looking back to the past, and I can draw in that past element with the card. But the Six of Pentacles, there's a bunch of flying things here. I'm not entirely sure what they, like, moths. They have a face, so I mean, you know, the type that the insect or whatever it's called uses to pretend to be something else. So this gives me no Six of Pentacles feeling at all, even though I think it looks cool. But if it comes up in a reading, we will see. I mean, sometimes decks like these are exactly what I love using in readings, because I get something new with each time that I'm using it, but I don't know. So the queens are quite, queens are different enough, so, you know, I'm showing you the court cards now. They look different, they have some similar elements, like to the kings, but, you know, they're kind of good enough. I mean, different enough. So I'm good with the queens, kings as well. I think, if I remember correctly, most of them are young, which is kind of unfortunate for me, because I like my kings older. But interesting, you know, bird head. King of Wands. With the King of Wands, it's interesting. We have a candle, but we have also a tiny brain, which could, you know, it could be that the King of Wands is more about the passion than the logical side. I like the King of Cups because we have the fish in a bowl on top of his head, so it's kind of like, even where his brain should be, there are, you know, like water and emotions. But, you know, it's kind of that mom tattoo. It kind of takes away the seriousness of the card for me. I don't like the bird, but it's a wise owl, so, you know, I'll allow it. yeah, repeating, you know, like birds and stuff. I have a bigger issue with the pages and the knights, because look at these. If you don't look at the titles, it takes forever to figure out who is what. Yes, their feet are different, so you know, that's I think the easiest is the Page of Cups. Page of Swords is some sort of a like bird. Page of Pentacles is, if I see it correctly, I would say maybe an like a lion, which I don't associate with because of the tail with the suit. Page of Wands is like ram or something like that. But the hairstyle is the same. It looks like the same guy, it's just different, you know, hair color, and even the positions are not that different. So they are definitely too close to each other for me. And where are the knights? It's better, it's halfway better, because the cups and the wands knife knight is really good. It's really distinct. It displays the suit easily. You can just look at it and, oh yeah, this belongs to the cups. Butterflies for the wands, okay, maybe, whatever. But at least it's different, you know. The pentacles and the swords, but they are just like, they have this weird head with no face, exposed brain, the same cuts, you know, on one of their legs, on both side. Yeah, they're not distinguished enough, at least not now, for me to be able to be happy with them, because you know, you can get them in more distinguished ways. So why not take the time? Or if it was made for years, then why not go back and revisit it a bit little, because of things like that. And this is the last one, and I know this is gonna be probably a long one, but I think these are things that we can talk about. I mean, and I'm sure that there's gonna be someone who will absolutely love these repetitive imageries, and they will find joy finding these and collecting the cards. And I'm hoping that it will happen to me as well, because I don't want to, you know, just dismiss this deck. But this is the Chariot, this is the Seven of Wands, and this is the Ten of Wands. Like, makes sense for the Chariot, doesn't make sense, a lot of sense for the other two, and it's just copy paste. Unicorny sea horses. So yeah, everything is copy paste. It's the exact color, so nothing has changed, not even the position, not even the tail colors or anything like that, which, like I said, it shouldn't be or wouldn't be a problem. But I don't get Ten of Wands feelings from this card. I definitely don't get Seven of Wands from this card, because when I looked at this, I was like, but that was the Chariot card, because they are too similar. The Chariot and the explanation for the Chariot makes sense. The others are, you know, the minors don't really make sense. And I kind of feel like that this could have been or should have been maybe a majors only deck, which I know that not a lot of people use, but those are useful for, you know, setting up a tone for a reading or something like that, because I kind of feel like that the rest was just made so that it become a whole tarot deck. But I will check the artist's social media and find out what was happening, and I don't think, you know, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just, you know, first impression. So, and let's finish with the card that I absolutely loved. The Fool, that expression on the face. it's surrealist enough for me to be just intrigued by it and just like that expression, like the way he looks. It's kind of like a look, which I really appreciate. I like that. The Magician is new enough and is different enough, and it's kind of, you know, it's getting that I'm creating something, but the hands are not necessarily hers, so it's using the tools you have. Or maybe, you know, I'm just imagining things. We have tiny symbols here for all the tools, which, to be honest, I don't think it was necessary for this one. The High Priestess looks really beautiful, and it, you know, she's a sea creature, so that's interesting. Even though, you know, High Priestess can be an emotional card in a way that she navigates on the edge of logical and emotional, but she's beautiful. I absolutely love her. I mean, love the art style. The Emperor is more about the negative side of the card, because, you know, we have sheep people, and the pig for a ruler who's just wearing a mask, by the way, and with the, oh, what is it? Is it? It's not the dove. What's the bird? Whatever, swan, which are usually, you know, connected to royalty. So I read the description, and it's talk about, you know, that we need to be careful who we're electing as leaders. The strength, the description doesn't really give as much explanation for the art as I hoped, but I just liked the way she looks. There's a swan coming out, and there's something else, I think, maybe it was the lion, which was explained as different forms or of her, or something like that. Let me just check quickly. Okay, restraint, even overstrength. Okay. So, oh, she's a totem woman, which is interesting. Oh, you don't need it. A totem woman gazes stoically forward, while a man tries to climb the side of her head. Question, why? I would love to know why the man is trying to climb. Along the way, he meets a lion and a swan, both aspects of the woman herself. They represent our spiritual journey, its difficulties, and its beauty. Okay? The two flying flamingos are a symbol of elegance and tenacity. So I'm assuming all flamingos mean the same everywhere. But I would like to know, like, why the guy is climbing and who is the strength. I mean, I'm assuming the strength is about this man then, not about the woman, or is it? Like, it's not explained well enough. Which is frustrating. The Hermit, I'm not gonna lie, he looks cool. And I like this whole tattoo art look of the card. But, you know, troubled waters, it all with the phone, it kind of still makes sense for a hermit, because there are those hermits who can't stay or don't want to stay at one place because they are always after some adventure, and they become hermits because, not because they are secluded in a way that they live in a hut in the middle of the forest, but because they're constantly moving and they don't stay in any place for long enough to actually get rooted. So I think that's a good aspect for the hermit. The Hangman, it just looks cool. I didn't really check the book yet, but I like how it looks. And the star, absolutely love the art style. And it says nothing is as it seems on the top of the card. So I definitely feel like that you can tell that the illustrator has a background in fashion. The body types and the mannequin style of certain cards have that. But like I said, I would have loved to hear more about how it ties into tarot, what her experience was with tarot, because you know this is a tarot deck, so it's fun to know what she does and how this deck come about. But I think a few pages about why she started to do a tarot deck, because I think there's just like one sentence about it. This is, you know, like the introduction. It's not a lot. She just said that my tarot cards have been part of my life path. They grew up with me over the years. They changed as I have until the moment I realized that they were ready to take flight too. I'm assuming she's young. I'm so mean. But no, but it's just, I don't feel they were ready. As a reader, as a consumer on that part. So obviously I can't say if they were ready or not, because I'm not the artist and I'm just joking. But I hope she's gonna still kind of mess with this deck and maybe redraw a few cards, because if the minors would be as I don't know, I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't want to say not as thoughtful as the minors, because I don't know how much she, you know, spent, how much time she spent thinking about the cards. But I just feel like, yeah, I don't want to say anything bad, but I don't feel as much time was spent on the minors as they were spent on the majors, which I think is usually true anyway. Or not, maybe, I don't know. But let's have these two cards for reading. It shuffles really nicely. By the way, it's a US games cardstock. Obviously, I don't have standard side deck at hand, but I think the Supernatural Tarot is standard size. So it's a bit bigger and a bit wider than a standard size. Tarot card. Okay, so I kind of like how this looks without really going into the reading, because we have the Chariot in the in the middle, and the Chariot is all about finding the balance, you know, between certain things, certain aspects of yourself, your life, that they can work together so that you can finally move forward. And you know, we're in the Chariot here, and if you look at these two cards, one of them is flying on the left direction, one of them is flying on the right direction, so it highlights the aspect that something is not in sync. The things are not going the same direction, they are pulling apart. And if I go with the Four of Swords and the Seven of Swords, Four of Swords being that maybe there's not enough rest on our parts. We need to do, you know, you need to take more rest so that our mind can quiet. And the Seven of Swords is usually other people are trying to, you know, meddle with our lives, so it could represent an aspect of a decision that others want us to choose, and their motivation for that is not necessarily the best, or it's not necessarily the best for us. So in order to be able to move forward, we need to quiet our mind, take a step back, take a deep breath, sleep some more on a decision that we need to make, and cut out what other people are trying to say, because they're just meddling with our journey, our path. I like this. So maybe, you know, maybe on the table this deck will work actually really, really good. You can't know a deck until you start using it, obviously. And we have the Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which could indicate that in order to be able to move forward, we need to be a bit more passionate. We don't, because these are, you know, all air elements. The Chariot is flying. It's I think the Chariot is a Cancer card, if I remember correctly. If I'm not, sorry, which is water, emotions. but it kind of gives us the feeling that we're trying to solve an emotional feeling or problem from a place of logic, which sometimes is good. In this case, it's not. So we need to be more passionate about what we are trying to choose. Okay, I like this reading. I like the way the deck reads. So who knows, maybe all of the things that I listed out as potential problems in this video will be nothing when I start actually using the deck. So, you know, I will get back to you with a more in-depth reading once, or review, once I have time to work with this deck. There's a lot of decks that I'm working this year, so it's gonna probably take us some time, but who knows, I might just get really into the mood of using this deck, and then it will jump queue. You never know. But yeah, I hope this was useful, and I hope you understand that I didn't mean to be, you know, mean about anything I said. I think being critical is okay. People can criticize things without being mean, and I hope I did that, because that was not my intention. So if something sounded like I'm just picking on it for the sake of picking on it, then it was my fault and I didn't articulate myself well enough. But, you know, first impressions are first impression. I usually lie. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Do all the YouTube things if you can or want. Like, subscribe, share it with other people that you think could benefit from watching this video, and tell me if you have this deck and what's your experience with it. See you in the next one. Bye!